Like,
I mean, I think it's a full Achilles tear, which you hate to see. So with that means it's going to be surgery, and it's going to be usually it's a year, a full 12 months till you're back. And I mean, this happened to Kobe. This has happened to so many people.
it had happened to Boogie
A
recently.
lot of times you don't come back. A lot of times you're a different player. People talk all the time saying they feel like they don't have any explosiveness after it, even if when it's fully healed. So a terrible thing to see. Do you think this was a product of coming back too early?
I kind of do believe. I mean, this is what happens when your body's not really at
Yeah,
100%. It's not
it's
really.
put stress on different parts of your body that aren't used to it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's gone. It's the calf and the Achilles are in the same area. So if it was the actual calf sprain and it wasn't, I mean, it was definitely affecting the Achilles, but he, when your body's working like that, and he's probably about like 65, 75%.
Mm-hmm.
I know he got cleared by the doctors. They did everything the right way, but he had to be back for this game. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm assuming he wanted to be back. I don't.
I mean, no way he plays if he doesn't okay it himself.
Yeah, he wants to be back. He knows what's on the line. It's an NBA title. It's an elimination game. I he should be he should play in this game. It's just I don't think it's a freak accident because he's not fully healthy, but it's something you really risk when you go out there and do that.
Yeah. It was one of those things where he was going to play no matter what, and it sucks that this is the outcome of it. What did you think about the Raptors fans' reaction? Were you? Did it upset you? Were you okay with it? What did you feel about that?
The fans that cheered, yeah, that's terrible. I mean, you don't want that. I saw Drake's reaction. I thought Drake's reaction was really funny because it just looks like he's like
that was hilarious.
He's trying to act like he's upset.
Oh, well, I think he was really sad because he's got 35 tatted on his arm. Like, come on, he was sad.
I think he knows he's like, oh, we got a better chance to. His first two reactions are like, oh, that's my boy, but oh, we have a better chance to win. He's like, I gotta be upset. I gotta be upset right now, and he's like coming off like he's too upset. It seems like he's playing it.
He's working for it too much. That's funny. I thought, if I were Kevin Durant, I would be giving it to the Raptors fans. Be like, oh, you're cheering because you think you have a chance now. Like, if you guys thought you were gonna win, even when I was in the game, you wouldn't have been cheering. Like you're cheering now that I'm out because you finally you feel like you have a chance again because you thought we were gonna win. Because it's like, why would you cheer for a player going down unless you feel like that's the only way you can win? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
if you feel like you have the game locked up, you don't cheer at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird thing coming from all the nice things people have been saying about Canada, hyping them up like, oh, these guys are so polite and nice, and then they cheer for this.
I thought it was really great from the players calming them down, and just to see well, it's one of those things, like, at that point, everybody in the finals knows what, like, they've all sacrificed.
Mm-hmm.
So just to see you sacrifice and then get hurt, it's so, demoralizing. But it'll be interesting, too. What we'll talk about more this summer is what happens with free agency. Because right now, Kevin Durant has $32 million that he just has to say, yep, I'll take that.
Yeah, now who do you think's feeling worse right now, Knicks fans or Golden State Warriors fans? I feel like Knicks fans are feeling worse right now.
I feel like Golden State Warriors fans. I think Knicks fans want AD.
They want Kevin Durant. I feel like as soon as they say, they're like, oh, the Knicks know that the next season's already lost. Warriors at least still have.
So how is that different than the past 10 seasons?
Well, because they finally had hope. They had a little bit of hope, and they're like, Kevin Durant's coming. It's over. Golden State, they're like, okay, well, we just need 2 more wins. We're still alive. We know Kevin Durant's leaving anyway, so I feel like it doesn't hurt as bad. They kind of moved on from Kevin Durant knowing he's not coming back. I think it hurts Knicks worse. Like, well, he's not going to play for all year. I mean, if it's a year-long injury, that means he's out all year because the Knicks ain't making the playoffs.
But the good thing with the Knicks is maybe you sign him to less money.
No, he's still getting max. I would say he's getting a max still, no matter what.
The 35%?
I don't understand the max with the All NBA. I thought he's got to sign the max. I don't understand. I know what you're saying. I don't understand how the All NBA maxes work and stuff like that, like the differential in money. But
yeah, well, it's probably gonna be like a $220 or $250 million contract.
I think
No. It's not because he can't get that final year. It's gonna be like a 4 year, it's gonna be a 4 year close to 200 million or something, or it might be like 180 or 170. I don't know. It's gonna be ridiculous.
he could be interested in just doing the 1 year thing that Boogie did.
Well, he's not gonna do a 1 year thing because he's not playing next year. So if he did that, he just signed the player option with Golden State.
He might just take the player option then.
And that's what I'm thinking. He really might do, and then have just push it off 1 year and not play at all. You know.
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's. We'll see. We'll see what the timetable is. We'll see what the MRI reveals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's so much information out there that no one knows, and no one's gonna know till after.
What do you think about the Warriors president's comments after the game? Really odd to see him come on the. That's when you knew it was like really bad, when you heard that he's going to take the media. He's out there crying. He's like feels responsible for the injury. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is kind of a little eye opening, being like, people think that, not to say their jobs are easy, but for Golden State, or for managing these super teams like a Houston, or whatever the case may be, the GMs and the coaches and all these guys, all they have to do is say, "Hey, suit up and play." But it is different, because this guy could have, he could have said, "Look, KD, you're not 100%, you're not 80%. We need you to rest." And KD wouldn't have played, because it's Bob Myers' decision. If he says no, then no one can really go against it. But on the flip side is, Kevin Durant wanted to play. If Kevin Durant didn't think he could play, he would have said no. So all you can do as a GM or president of basketball operations is take the information that you're given and make your best decision from that. For this one, I think it's very easy that KD doesn't get hurt, and this is the greatest decision they make, right? So it was a toss-up. So it sucks that he feels that way. And I guess it's eye-opening that, they do have a lot of big decisions that come down to them that they feel responsible for. But, I think it's hard for him to take a blame on something like that.
My opinion is, so the day before Game 5, maybe 2 days before it, the reports are coming out that players are talking about KD. They're saying, "I don't know how he can't get. I don't understand what's going on. I mean, there's all these players playing with injuries. We don't understand why he can't make it back." So it seems like, and the way that he reacted, it did seem like they kind of forced him to play. It maybe felt like KD did not want to go out there and play it. That's kind of how.
I feel like
that's just kind of the reactions I'm seeing. Based on him crying like that, it seems like he didn't force him necessarily, but he really urged him to play and try to get him out there to play. And when maybe KD didn't want to do it, and he knew he wasn't feeling as good to go.
Well, I think the only thing that makes me think something like that may have happened is when people asked Steve Kerr about it, he said, "You'll have to talk to Bob Myers about it," which is like, oh, that's interesting. But I also think it's one of those things. Kevin Durant, I mean, this is a guy that has fought with 14-year-olds on Twitter. I mean, this is a guy, he hears everything that is said about him. Not only does he hear it, he takes it personally. So I'm sure Kevin Durant said, "I got to prove these guys wrong." And I would think the more likely scenario would be Bob Myers talking to their medical staff and being like, "Can he play?" And they're like, "Yeah, he's an injury risk. Like, he's going to be sore, but he could play." Then Bob Myers being like, "All right, let him play."
Yeah, I mean, they cleared him. They said they had multiple doctors clear him, and I do feel like that opinion you said about KD, that is his mindset. From what we know about him, it seems like he would want to go out there and prove people wrong. It does seem like, especially with his teammates talking like that, if those reports are true. I don't know. Maybe he did get rushed back, and all those reactions, that's what it makes me kind of lean towards, that they've pushed him a little early. Maybe it caused it to the Achilles tear to flare up quicker than it would have. I don't know. I guess that's yeah. Yep.
So, assuming that this, assuming that it's a full tear, even if he takes the player's option, he's out for at least a year. That means he's not playing next year, regardless. Let's say this is the last time we saw Kevin Durant in a Warriors uniform. What do you think is the lasting memory of this, 3-year span has it been? 4-year span?
It's 3 years.
3? Yeah, 3-year span. So what comes out of that? What do people look back and remember of? Is it dominance? I mean, they won twice. They might lose another. Would it be dominance? Would it be a what-if scenario? What if he didn't tear his Achilles? Would he stay on?
No, because I think everyone knew he was leaving.
Mm-hmm.
I think they just get remembered as kind of like one of the most dominant teams in NBA history, and then we'll see where his career goes from after this, and then we can talk like legacy, where he could have been, stuff like that. But yeah, I think the Warriors team will get remembered as this span of Warriors. This span of Warriors, with and without Kevin Durant, are one of the greatest basketball teams of all time. Kevin Durant, the Achilles tear, I would just say it's kind of legacy. We'll see how he comes back from it. What do you think about it?
Well, I think it's interesting to think about like the great teams. Of course you got, because it's like you think of Michael, Scotty, and Dennis Rodman, even though Dennis Rodman wasn't there for the first three-peat, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you had Dennis Rodman afterwards.
Yeah, but you still
after
think
the
of
Bad Boy Pistons, yeah.
You think of the Kobe and Shaq, and they only had 3 years together or 4 years together?
How many 1 or 2 championships together?
They had 2 championships.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be interesting because you look at these famous teams, the Heatles, the Miami Heat. That was only 4 years. They lost 2 of them. They went 2-2. So I think it'll be interesting to see if this team is remembered as the Iggy, Draymond, Clay, Steph team, or that there was that one peak they had when they had Kevin Durant, Steph, Clay, Iggy, Draymond. Like, I wonder which one will be immortalized more. And I think that'll have a lot to do with what Kevin Durant does post-Achilles injury.
I would think they're going to be more remembered with Kevin Durant. Just because, based on media, based on Twitter and stuff like that, based on how big a deal it was after the time when he signed with Golden State and already how dominant they were. I feel like the team will be remembered with Kevin Durant more. Because I feel like people already forget about like the 70-win team without Kevin Durant.
The 73. That's what I was going to say. The 73-9. They are on the record books.
Mm-hmm.
But it was. I feel like it's more of the. Remember when they won 73 wins and then they added Kevin Durant type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree that Kevin Durant comes up in that. I just wonder in like 10 years from now, because he has been a Warrior. He's been part of this team and he's made 3 finals in a row. Every year they made the finals, but it's also like he's not the Warriors. When you think of the guys, it's Steph, Draymond, and Clay.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that, but
so
10, 20 years from now, they're going to remember KD on those teams, though. Mm-hmm. They'll talk about KD on the team. He's not, I don't know. We'll see. It might become like the old basketball heads argument. Like, we grew up watching them.
Man, I remember before Kevin Durant joined the team.
Kevin Durant wasn't that team, and it'll be a whole argument. I want to talk about.
That is going to be an argument. When I'm 60, I'm going to be making that argument.
All right, I got So about the Achilles tear, I want to bring up a few players that suffered Achilles tears. These are like real big names, and I'll give you the ages, and then we can discuss after that. Dominique Wilkins, 21.
Ooh, he was 21 when he tore his Achilles.
Yeah. So
he came back from that.
Oh, yeah. He had a pretty good career after that.
Yeah, so he came back from that.
Isaiah Thomas, 35.
He did not come back from that.
Patrick Ewing, 36.
No, he was kind of already done before that, but yeah.
Okur from the Jazz suffered one when he was 30. He didn't come back from that. I don't think he was very, very, very good anyway. He was a good role player, good player to have on your team. Good rotation guy. Kobe Bryant at 34. And here's a big one that I feel like people forgot about. Wesley Matthews, age 28.
I do, because him and Dame. What's funny is people will forget this. Him and